Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Gunmen attack officers of anti-corruption body EFCC in Abuja, leave behind a death note for one of the agency's top investigators. Acting President Professor Yemi Osinbajo lauds Nigeria's resilience in the face of large-scale corruption, assigns portfolios to recently sworn-in ministers. More universities across the country join industrial action declared by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. A strike enters day 3. And General Overseer of Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Adeboye, receives book chronicling his life and ministry as a surprise birthday gift. Do remember now that for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on your mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app and tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. Now we have some pictures to share with you. Let's begin with this one from Alapere Estate here in Lagos, showing a canal filled with refuse. Our Eyewitness reporter claims this is an impending danger to buildings in the area, and he's calling on the relevant agencies to clear the waterway. We move on to roads now with this picture from the Federal Housing Estate in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, showing the bad state of the road there. This road, according to our Eyewitness reporter, is one of many in the community that need attention. Staying with roads is this image from Oyibo Junction in River State, showing a flooded road. Our Eyewitness reporter wants the state government to do something about it. And finally, we end with this picture from Port Harcourt, also in River State, showing a fallen street light, and that's a pole. Our Eyewitness reporter is calling on the relevant agencies to fix it. Thanks a lot for all your pictures. Do send us some more. 40 authors have put together a 40-chapter book chronicling the life and call of the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Adeboye. Our correspondent Loretta Chogo, who was at the Redemption Camp, reports that the book launch was a surprise birthday gift.
The hymn kickstarts the event. It's a full house with a host of dignitaries. The former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, captains of industry, pastors and general overseers of other denominations, and members of the Redeemed Christian Church of God.
Let somebody shout hallelujah.
That signature is synonymous with one man, the general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Adeboye, who is unaware of what this gathering is all about. His wife, Pastor Mrs. Folu Adeboye, fondly called Mommy Gio, breaks the silence. She says she thought it important to document his life so far and calling in a book.
The Bible tells us that we are the letter that the people are now reading. And I believe already people have been reading you. And I pray after this occasion, the high spirit of the living God, that he puts all of us to perfection to the day of his coming, whereby we will be able to live good things for people to put down and to read about.
The acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who walked in while the event was ongoing with his wife, takes his turn to speak glowingly of the humility and strong faith of Pastor Adeboye.
I was not a politician even when I was nominated to be vice president. I was quite certain that, because I also had very grave doubts, so I was quite certain that Daddy was going to say something like, don't bother, or no, or let's just think about it for a while and then we'll pray and all that. But when I spoke to Daddy about it and told him, he said, if you are offered, you must take it. You must accept it. And it was so categorical and so clear that I was quite certain that this was something that I really had to do.
So we're now going to unveil the book.
40 authors have put together 40 chapters of the book titled Pastor Adeboye, His Life and Calling. The book is said to contain the untold stories of Pastor Adeboye's life. Pastor Adeboye steps up the stage to receive his pleasant surprise from his wife, who is flanked by their children.
It is ready at the accepted time. Help me shout hallelujah.
He will not leave without leaving a word.
Who am I without Jesus Christ? If there's anyone to be celebrated, it should be him.
He appreciates his wife for the pleasant surprise. Pastor Enoch Adejari Adeboye, who clocked 75 in March this year, received the mantle to become the General Overseer of RCCG in 1981 by the late founder Josiah Akintayomi. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
Well, congratulations to him on that pleasant surprise. And let's move on now to Abuja. But before we move on to Abuja, let's look at some legal matters. And the Federal High Court in Lagos has fixed August the 29th to deliver judgment in the fundamental rights enforcement suit filed by a suspected kidnapper Chukwudumeme Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans. The court dismissed the objections of the police to the hearing of the suit and held that it could proceed since all the respondents in the matter had been properly served with the court processes. Our judiciary correspondent Shola Shoyele reports.
On Tuesday, the court had listened to the objections of one Mr. Emmanuel Eze, the counsel to the Lagos State Police Command and the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. He had urged the court not to hear the fundamental rights application of suspected billionaire kidnapper Chukwudumeme Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans. Presiding Judge Justice Abdulaziz Anka, in his ruling on Wednesday, dismissed the argument of the counsel and upheld the submissions of Mr. Olukoya Ogungbeje, who represented the suspect. The court agreed that all the respondents in the application had been properly served and the evidence of service had not been controverted. Justice Anka also held that a leave of court was not required for the matter to be heard during vacation, as the Fundamental Rights Enforcement Procedure Rules of 2009 enjoins the courts to pursue speed and justice on issues of human rights. The ruling paved the way for the hearing of the application proper. But the counsel to SARS and the Lagos Police Command sought for a short adjournment to enable him prepare well for the hearing of the case. The opposing counsel objected, and the court held that by Order 4 Rule 1 of the Fundamental Rights Enforcement Rules, the case ought to have been heard within 7 days after it was first filed. And since all parties had exchanged documents, the court took the view that there had been enough time to prepare for the case. Counsel to Evans then argued his case, insisting that the police had violated his client's rights by detaining him since June 10 without charging him to court.
Now the court has heard us, they were in court, there's no court order. So what is the basis? The Constitution says you charge within the time allowed by law. They have failed to do it.
Two lawyers who spoke for the police authorities were not available to speak to journalists on the proceedings, but one of them told the court that Section 35, subsection 7 of the Constitution empowers the police to detain the suspect of a capital offence without a court order. The other counsel referred the court to certain exhibits and weapons allegedly recovered from the suspect and others purportedly working with him, and the reports of some victims of his crime. He then urged the courts to consider all this and hold that the suspect's fundamental rights was not absolute. The proceedings lasted for about 2 hours, and after listening to the submissions of all parties in the suit, Justice Anka fixed his judgment for August 29th. From the Federal High Court, Lagos, Shola Shoyeli for Channels Television News.
Now, 5 days after staging a protest, residents of oil communities in River State have continued to hold prayer sessions and meetings at the Shell Petroleum Development Company OML 25 flow facility. Communities in Akukutoru local government area and the oil company have been locked in a face-off over allegations of environmental neglect, disrupting production in the process. However, in a statement, SPDC joint venture dismisses the allegations, insisting it's invested massively in development projects in the areas.
This action, as you see, is a clear indication that the people are fed up with the circumstance they find themselves. The antecedents of SPDC's operation has exacerbated oporombium based on the contumelious stratagems these companies are applying to sanctuarize the economy of these people.
Our experience with SPDC is continual degradation of our land and human existence, giving rise to migration to the cities. All we are now saying is no to SPDC divestment to Cresta and no to Shell operating in our area.
When the news at 10 returns, Access Bank PLC holds monthly draws of Bank Family Fortune promo, an initiative to encourage family savings. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.